What are Marx's view about the value of work in our society he described? What is his attitudes towards wealth? Marx's historically materialism theory also assumed that history develops in phases, and he projects that socialist revolution would ultimately see the proletariat overthrow the bourgeoisie. Marx also envisioned a communist future in which income is distributed equitably and personal property is invalidated. The class war would undoubtedly end this condition of regeneration since everyone would give accordingly to the needs and receive accordingly to the ability.
Yes, because Marx quoted, any class struggle is a political struggle. At that, he regarded economic inequality as the cause of oppression by two major classes in politics, which is the proletariat and the bourgeoisie. The topic involves the actual struggle and contradiction between them as the force that can bring about political development. Marx saw political struggle as a natural phenomenon since the strong natural preys on the weak. In this case, the capitalist interest restricted the working class and in reaching the same level of wealth and prosperity that they had. Through the political struggle, a society finally managed to end the stagnation caused by capitalism and move forward towards improved existence. Overall, Marx's reasoning and perspective have influenced political theory and social movements, and the way political struggle is viewed. However, I think it is important to truly understand this statement since there are alternative perspectives in the relationship between social classes and politics. Furthermore, political struggle also differs depending on the situation and the movement in which the group or the struggle is carried out. At first, the bourgeoisie class takes the dominant position within the state formation, enjoying more rights and opportunities than the proletariats, meaning that first of all, Marx and Engels need to criticize the current formation given it is the main class which exploit a layer of workers. Another key aspect of the first part of Manifesto is its introduction. First and foremost, the introductory section implies the need to explain who the dominant class is and what social and economic relations are in question before discussing the role of proletariats within the revolution. By explaining the nature, power, and implications of the action of the bourgeoisie, Marx and Engels also critically paved the groundwork for their subsequent explanation of the capitalist system and the need for a revolutionary struggle. Though, at the same time, the proletariat seemed to be absent in much these parts. While the bourgeoisie is discussed exploitative, and the end goal of Manifesto is to create a society without classes where the proletariat develops state power. As the manifesto near its end, the proletariat becomes the central agent of social transformation and the object of revolutionary activity.
Is the modern proletariat a revolutionary class? Yes, because there are many proletariats who wants a new system where they want to enjoy equal treatment, equal wages, and remove or expel the corrupt in the government or social orders. For example, in the context of our Philippine government, where every May 1, various labor groups rally, one of which is the Kilusang Mayo Uno group, where they fight for wage increases, permanent job for workers, and their rights that are not enjoyed. So they are protesting our government so that they can be heard and enjoy their right forever. The issue regarding the workers has been around for a long time. But until now, the government has not listened to them because maybe the few sitting in high position are held by the oligarchs or they may also own our economy and control it. So with the prolonged action of our government in these matters, the few workers of our countrymen who fight for their rights are forced to fight by force to overthrow our government and replace it with a new government. The group they often join is the New People's Army because this group, according to Stanford University, wants to overthrow the government of the Philippines and replace it with a new state that is ruled by the working class and also overthrow the influence of US. As we know, it is a capitalist country. So that's how the NPAs are able to recruit workers and Filipinos fighting for their rights because this is the strategy they use to encourage the people. This was emphasized by the Office of the Director of National Intelligence website or DNI, where they said that the CPP-NPA exploits economic and social disparities in the Philippines to recruit members. So, in general, the modern proletariats can be said by our group that they are revolutionary class. Not because some use violence to overthrow the government, but because they are fighting for their rights, such as fair wages and rights that they should enjoy as workers, and because they want to transform our society into a humane and equal society for all. We just want to make it clear that it is not bad to protest or criticize the government, especially if what they doing is wrong. Still, we do not agree to have violent methods or encourage innocent people to do wrong things, especially the bloody revolution, to achieve the desired society. Is Marx's analysis of history clear? Try to summarize his view on the progress of history. To answer, no, because he did not give a detailed meaning to history in his Communist Manifesto. He simply gave a general view of history and economics. A more detailed and clear explanation of his analysis of history can be found in his book Das Kapital, in which he provided a rich framework for understanding the historical dynamics of capitalism and its implication for society. To summarize his view on the progress of history in his Communist Manifesto, I will use his explanation of class struggle and economic system to give the meaning. Where in the first progress of the world, he gave the meaning that people were living in primitive communist society where the wealth was commonly their ownership and with little or no private property. In the second stage, he explained the rise of a class differences between ruling elites or slave owners and the masses of workers or slaves. This was due to the advent of agriculture and the establishment of communities in which Asian civilizations have moved into society. In his third explanation of the progress in history, he also described feudalism as the next stage in the development of society, which marked the disobedience of the feudal lords who owned the lands and controlled the work of the serf. At this stage, those who worked in their country were given alternative protection. In the fourth stage, he explained the growth of capitalism due to the fall of prosperity and the development of industrialization. According to the capitalist philosophy, the bourgeoisie or the type of capitalist owns the method of production and enters the proletariat or the class of workers for their work, which he described capitalism as a system built on the marginalization of labor in which workers are impoverished from the products of their labor and paid wages that do not reflect the full value of their labor. At the fifth and final stage of history, he explained that contradiction within capitalism, such as accumulation of wealth of the bourgeoisie and the oppression of the proletariat, would eventually lead to a revolutionary uprising of the workers. This revolution, according to Marx, will result in the overthrow of capitalism and the establishment of an absolute union in which the method of the production are collective property. Overall, Marx demonstrates the evolution of class relation and the ignorance of proletariat revolution or the lack of justice and the continuing suffering of workers under capitalism, which he believed would ultimately result in the establishment of communism. Before the second part of the discussion ends, I just want to ask one question. Do you believe that the establishment of communism will end injustice for all workers?